song on the album. I love the fact that this is the next song on the album, God Bless the Poor, because it's sort of the natural extension of if you're able to embrace the decay,
Right.
then you're able to maybe see the world, the living world, slightly differently.
Different.
Exactly. And, you quote Psalm 98:6 at the beginning of the chapter, sing praises to the Lord with stringed instrument and with the sound of melody and with the sound of the horn. And I was struck again by how many times in the Bible we are called to play an instrument or sing or make a joyful noise or dance.
Yeah.
I mean, what a gift music is.
Oh, it absolutely is.
It's a gift.
Well, again, okay, I'm going to go back to this podcast I heard this morning. So this rabbi, he's talking to Krista Pippett, and he tells her that he was in a conference call with a bunch of colleagues that went sour at the last minute.
Oh, no.
And they had some agenda there. I don't know, there's some kind of a fellowship or whatever, but somebody brought up politics and Capitol riot on, January 6th. And all that
No
kind of
good's
stuff.
going to come from that.
And quickly, he said this fellowship broke down from people that had different opinions, and it ended up starting to get a little toxic. And he didn't know how to end. All of a sudden, this meeting is going to end in 5 minutes. And he doesn't know what to do. How do we wrap this up in a good way? And he says, he's quiet, and he says, let's sing. And they picked a melody that they all know, and they sang it, and it was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Right, in a time of cacophony and a time of chaos and friction.
Yes.
That they ended not resolving it, but they ended in singing, and everybody having the same melody and everybody having the same song, and there was healing and hope in it.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it doesn't say that we have to sing beautifully or that it has to be in tune.
Nope.
Make a joyful noise.
Make a joyful noise.
But
yeah.
we are designed
Yes.
to make music. God, our Creator, created us to make music and to receive music for no other purpose than for us to commune with Him and with each other. Because there's really no other purpose for music.
Right.
Like, what's the point?
Right. It doesn't solve anything really. And he did, like in that story, the singing didn't solve the disputes, but it solved the distance. It solved the separation. If you think about the world being just this extravagant diversity, between sky and ocean, between birds of the air and fish of the sea, hot and cold. Not only is there this thing called a flower, there's millions of kinds of flowers, and there's millions of each one of those, like the diversity and multitude. But yet at the end of the Christian tradition and the Jewish tradition and the Islamic tradition, all affirm that there's a oneness at the base of that.
Yeah.
Right. So part of what music does is helps remind us at the end of the day, we can still join our voice and sing the same melody, and something which is profoundly true gets exposed when we do that.
And I think that that's why people are so passionate about your music, because your music is definitely that music that brings us together and helps us to get to that place.
Oh, good.
At least it has been for me for decades. So.
Thank you.
But it helps us get to that place where we
Right.
remember why we're created, or that we were created.
Yeah.
In whatever tradition you might believe, it brings you back to that oneness of with your Creator, which is important.
That ground of being.
Yes.
From which all things come.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, the next song on the album, God Bless the Poor, you didn't write this particular song.
No. And
Why did you include it on the album?
This is funny because this was going to
important?
be my first album where every song was written by Steve Bell. At least I had a part in it, because every album has got 2 or 3 or 4 songs written by other people.
Sure.
And I was ready, after all these years,
You were so close.
21 albums, and then I heard this song, and it was Brian McLaren, the author. Some of you know him. People listening. I just heard this song at a friend of mine's concert last year, Glenn Soderholm, and it just blew me away. And I thought, I gotta sing that song. And I thought it was Glenn's. And then I phoned him up and I said, can I do your song? He says, well, yeah, but that's not mine. It's Brian McLaren's. And so I know Brian. And so I said, can I do your song, buddy? He said, sure. So it just seemed to fit. It seemed to be the right thing for the album. And I had to wrestle with it because it meant having to give up this idea that I'd finally have an album of only Steve Bell songs. But once I got over that, it just fits.
Yes.
The arc, the narrative, the larger narrative of the album.
Well, we'll talk more about that, but first let's hear God Bless the Poor.
God bless the poor. Bless them with the treasure that the rest take for granted. Bless them with true prosperity, to have all that they need, enough and then some more to share, and wisdom to enjoy the priceless blessings flowing everywhere for free. God bless the rich. Bless them with the treasure that their money cannot buy. Bless them with generosity, to realize we can only save the things we give away. The only wealth worth having is the joy of doing right and good for free. God bless the wounded, the migrant and the refugee who seek just to survive. Bless them with hospitality, to keep their hope alive. Just one more day through strangers who in kindness open hands and doors and borders until all are safe and free. God bless us all, to never waste a heartbeat or a breath or day or night. Bless us with gratitude, to savor every taste, the gift of every present moment, and dance with all our strength within your rhythm and your music, to be free. To be free.
So that was God Bless the Poor off Steve Bell's newest album, Wouldn't You Love to Know? And a beautiful song. We mentioned beforehand that it's not one that you wrote, but I'm so glad you included it on the album, especially, again, in the now, in the moment that we're living in now. Mm-hmm. When I read God Bless the Poor, bless them with the treasure that the rest take for granted. Mm. You know, bless them with the true prosperity to have all that they need. Mm-hmm. Even in times of COVID, mm-hmm. There's still so much comfort that most of us take for granted. Mm-hmm. We have even become more aware of the disparity between the have and the have not.
Yeah, boy, that has been exposed, hasn't it?
It really has.
And of course, once you know, you're responsible for what you know.
Yes.
And so, I mean, this is again, it's apocalyptic in the sense of its opportunity. We have just been robbed of the life we knew. Mm-hmm. So we have a chance to recreate something new.
Well, it's what I found really interesting, again, just really looking at the words of this song and also the feel of the song, because mm-hmm. it also talks about God bless the rich, because the rich need to know that what they have is not forever.
Right.
But it was interesting in today's context. We keep hearing people saying, "Oh, we're all in the same boat."
Right.
But we're not.
We're not.
We're all in the same storm.
Right,
but we're all in different boats.
That's a very good. Thank you for that. I love that. That's a song. That sings.
Well, let me know how that goes.
Preachers will say that preaches. Songwriters will say that sings.
We are in the same storm, but we're not all in the same boat.
Yeah.
And I love how that song just sort of inadvertently references that. At least that's what it said to me.
Well, actually, one of the reasons that the song caught me was not the first verse, God bless the poor, we've all heard that, was God bless the rich.
Yeah.
And because we don't hear that, because the rich are they're the problem, right? Like, and so if you're like me and you're lean a bit left and you hang out with lefty people, and the man is the problem, or the corporation is the problem, or the 2%, they're really the problem. And the way this song kind of goes through is God bless the poor, and it says God bless the rich, and that's got a bit of a shock.
Yeah.
And then God bless the refugee, and all that. So it goes to that. Well, we're more familiar with that. But then the end it says God bless us all. We're all really, that's in the same. We're all in the same storm. But you're right. We're not in the same boat.
Yeah. Yeah. And the Bible is very clear on how we are to treat the refugee and how we are to treat the poor and how we are to treat, the other. And yet that's not what we're seeing today.
Right. And how do we treat our own prosperity?
Yes.
What do we do with that?
Yes.
I don't need to be embarrassed by it. The question is, I'm to steward it in a way that reflects God's character and God's nature and God's concern and God's passion. It's a gift to me to steward after in the image of God.
Gorgeous song. I'm glad you included it.
Thank you. Me too. Yeah.